So, welcome to another episode on the Renegade Billionaire Vlog. And like I have mentioned, I'm an active professional musician, and this is something that I really love to do, playing music and things like that. Um, and one thing that comes up for a lot of musicians is, how do you learn those guitar riffs that you hear out there? Like you listen to your favorite tunes, whether it's a Gary Moore album, whether it's an Eric Clapton album, whether it's a George Lynch Dawkins album, whatever kind of album. No, you might not even be into the kind of styles that I listen to, right? Like you might not even be into metal, but you might be into rock and that kind of thing, or blues. But what happens is you're gonna hear a lot of riffs, right? Um, So that's just an excerpt from a Nickelback song, along with a really iconic guitar riff on this song, "Never Gonna Be Alone" in the chorus. A really lovely riff there. Now, the problem for a lot of, especially kind of like beginner players, is like, how do you really learn these riffs, especially without having to rely on tabs? Okay, and that's what I want to address and really kind of help you scale over that hump in this lesson. And the thing is, first you gotta realize that guitar tab is very useful. Okay, if you can look at tab, it's gonna be good for you because you're gonna learn how to play some of these songs note for note, and that's a great thing. Um, but in terms of your musical and improvisational skill development, you want to get out of relying on tab. Okay, you want to get into being the kind of guitar player that can one, improvise, but also two, learn songs without even having to look at the tab. And so that's what I want to show you, kind of how you can do something like that. So a good example song to use for something like this is this Gary Moore song, "Midnight Blues," one of my favorite blues songs. So let's just check it out. Here's kind of how it goes a little bit. So this is a little bit of the rhythm part. I got those midnight blues when the shadows fall. I feel the night closing in. There must be some reason for this mood I'm getting in. Can't get no sleep, don't know what to do. I got those midnight blues. But there's an iconic riff that you hear playing as you play that rhythm. There's an iconic lead guitar riff that's sitting on top of the rhythm, And if you were to just hum it, it goes something like dun 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 dun. A really nice sound. So and I actually learned how to play this guitar riff without having to look at the tab. So here's kind of how you would go about something like this. So the sound kind of goes. So first of all, if you can hum the riff out, that's actually a major step in the right direction to being able to play it without looking at the tab. So something like we're playing the chord, right? The sixth of the chord progression, something like this, and it's a minor chord. But then the guitar riff is going something like da da dun 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 da. So you can look for that like da. You try that note, which is the fifth. It doesn't work. You try the first. No, that doesn't work. You want something that sounds like da. And funnily enough, that note on the and that's the sixth. Da. That actually works. So we know our riff is gonna begin right there. So we want our riff to go something like dun 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 dun, and then it just repeats. So it's like dun 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 dun. So the next note would have to be dun 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 dun. So our first note was right there on the sixth of that chord chord progression. So the next part, you feel your way around. You experiment, for example, going something like this. Now you can tell like that's a little bit off from what the riff actually sounds like. So you know we are going in the wrong direction. And so we probably gotta try a different note. So something like this, for example. This note sounds a bit more correct, but it's not quite right. It's not nearly low enough. So then we know we gotta kind of go lower in the scale. And if you were to look at the pentatonic scale right there in that position, it's gonna be something like this. So this is where knowing your scales is gonna be really helpful, and you really want to know your scales. So then this is what it looks like as we keep on going with this. So here we are with this note right here. And then we're gonna try this note right here. No, that's too low. And voila, that's the note we've been looking for. Dun, 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 dun. Now the next part is dun, 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 dun. So now you can feel with your fingers around. Not quite. Now that sounds a little bit correct, like we stumbled into this. So you kind of feel around, you experiment, and whenever you hit the wrong note, you look around, you feel around the notes around what you just played, and you see whether you need to go lower or you need to go higher, and then you go in the direction that the riff is going as you are listening to it. So let's see what we have so far. What we have so far is this. See, that's the entire beginning of that riff. It's actually coming together, and it's like this so far. That's pretty much almost the entire riff. So all we have to do now is figure out the next part, which is dun 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 dun. Now the next part would be dun dun, right? But the ending of that riff, so now we are going to the end. Dun dun. We can kind of tell like that dun sounds a little bit like we're back to the sixth, which is where we began. So we know it's gonna be something and then back to that sixth note where we actually began. So this actually makes our lives easy. All we have to figure out is that note kind of in the middle right there. Dun 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 dun. Now that dun dun. This is too high. That's too high. Voila, we have the note we've been looking for. So now we know the note we're looking for is that one right there. which is actually the first of the scale, the first of the chord progression, and it's gonna be so the entire part of that riff is now gonna look like this when we put everything together. And isn't that a lot of fun that you can now play this Gary Moore guitar riff to Midnight Blues? And we didn't even need to look at any tab to make this happen. So let me actually just play it, just so you can actually see how we play this riff in summary. Now let's be honest, there's a little additional part in the actual song that makes this riff a little bit more advanced. And so what you would actually need to do now is, now that you have the basics down, then you can noodle around a little bit more. The rest of it is actually gonna be pretty easy to pick up, which is just gonna be, again, it looks a lot like the first part of the riff, which is, guys, this is essentially how you learn those iconic guitar riffs without having to look at any tablature. Now, if you need more guitar tips, lessons to help you progress a lot faster, check out my website. Link will be in the description. Catch you next time.